The Starship gets the 152mm cannon, the same cannon that sits on the Shredder and the futuristic MBT-70. With that turret comes also a very annoying reload time of 21 seconds. And your crew can put it down if it's expert to as low as 16 seconds, but it's still too high for other MBTs in this region of 8 battle rating. The vertical guidance of -10 and 20 can be very useful, especially if you are sitting on a mountain and just waiting for your time to attack. But the turret rotation of 28 seconds is incredible, and that easily gives him the advantage on the battlefield with that kind of turret speed. The armament the Starship lets you use, the first one is heat. With a muzzle velocity of 682 and explosive type of composition B with explosive mass of 2.85 kilograms, that equivalent to 3.73 kilograms, will do wonders against tanks. But I myself hate heat, especially as it's very inconsistent. Also, it is a heat and not heat FS, and so his speed and accuracy is not as good, and it's lacking in longer range, especially above 800 meters. With 354mm of penetration, it will penetrate almost anything on the battlefield, but you need to still aim and know where you're trying to hit, because it won't do as much as massive damage as you would like. Next comes the HE with 682 muzzle velocity, explosive mass of 4 kilos, and a fuse sensitive of 0.1 and 37 armor penetration. Another thing that I forgot to say, both the heat and the HE will explode on 0.1mm of armor. So anything at all in front of it will explode. So if you are against an M60A2 with only heat, make sure to be behind cover of trees. Last but not least, the HE ATGM Shilga does bring the M60 to a level where it can actually engage enemies above 800 meters without being so exposed and dying. It has 323 meters per second of speed. Guidance is the semi-automatic guidance, 3 kilometers of range, and a 3.6 explosive mass with outstanding of 431mm of penetration. The Starship new cannon does allow the Starship to have a better armor on the turret, although it has pros and cons altogether. For example, the pros, one of the biggest pros is the turret frontal armor. It has 220mm of armor, but it's very boxy and allows even the simple 254 APCBC penetrated frontally in close range. With a back armor on the turret of 57mm, even some of the anti-air can penetrate you. And the top of the turret has in some locations 70 and some location 30, if I'm not mistaken. And I found that even SU-6 penetrates you from the top and sometimes can even kill you. Although the most problematic is his rear. Right on top of the engine, it can be penetrated even by some of the machine guns and put you on fire. So you need to be very careful against enemy airplanes. The anti-air machine gun traverse speed is not good at all, and it's lacking in pulling up capabilities for some reason. And a lot of enemy airplanes are just not scared of you if you can't shoot them back. The frontal hull armor is pretty good, and I found couple of times even letting T-54s and other tanks just bounce off it with APC-BCs. The side armor, although, has couple of problems. In some location it has a 76mm of armor, but in some location it even goes as low as 35, and so I find myself wanting for more armor there, or at least some side steps armor to prevent of heat and ATGMs penetrating in it too easily. The back door, the rear armor of the hull says 41, but at some location it's 14 and 18, so I'm not sure how exactly Ganji is telling you it's 41. Mobility. The M60A2 in mobility has the same engine as the M60A1, while he's heavier in 3 tons if I'm not mistaken. This brings the M60A2 Starship into a big of confuzzle. He's not as fast and as maneuverable as tanks in his tier, but he's not too heavy and not too lacking. I found sometimes actually trying to traverse very problematic, especially if you don't drive forward or backward sometimes to give him a little bit of a push. I don't know if it's currently Ganji unfinished business with the model, or that's how it will be, because I didn't drove the M60A1 yet, so I don't know about that. The engine's 663 HP is not bad. I found the tank keeps driving even though he'd been hit and the engine is fully red. The engine built with a lot of armor outside of it. In the back it has the transmission, on top it has the filters, and on the side bottoms it has fuel tanks. And so a lot of things do support the engine and making it harder for the enemy to actually penetrate you and kill the engine. And even if they did make the engine red, it will still drive. So I found that very, very reliable engine, very fun, and he took me out of very sticky situations a lot of the times. Technology wise, he has the tier 3 state-of-the-art stabilizer like other tanks in his era. And he does have 8 grenade launchers for the smoke that came in this update. So I found the tank lacking in close range, especially after you shoot. You have to go back and defend yourself because you have at least 18 seconds that you cannot shoot, and some of the tanks on the battlefield can shoot twice in that time already. So you need to be very careful with how you shoot, when you shoot, and where you hit. This tank could be very good in long range, especially with his high commander capsule that lets you stay behind cover and just come out and shoot at the right time. With Shilgas, his reload time will be much easier, as you need to aim anyway in the time it needs to reload. Overall, my points for the M60A2 Starship is armament, he gets only a 6. Armor, he gets as well a 6. Mobility, he gets a 7. Even though he is less mobile than the T54 or T55A, he does have a better reverse speed than those tanks, and thus he stays at a 7. Technology wise, he does get a 9 for his Shilga. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, you know what to do. If you want me to do a different tank review or something else, you can always leave a comment. I do every week on Sundays tournaments. Well, either Sundays or Saturdays. Hope you liked it and have a good day, guys. Sayonara! His commander capsula is very, very high and allows enemies to shoot you even if you're behind the rock or lower surface than him. So you need to be really, really aware of your tank, or else you will get hit again and again